Protests outside Apple stores all around the country today. They are supporting the tech giant in its fight against the FBI. A judge has ordered Apple to unlock the San Bernardino terrorist's iPhone. Apple says creating that software could lead down a dangerous path for personal privacy. This is a live look outside the Fashion Valley Apple store, where a protest is expected to begin in about 20 minutes. We have a reporter there. We will bring you a live update when it starts. And Attorney Vikas Bajaj is here to answer some questions brought up by the Apple hack headlines.
That's right. Privacy, as you heard them chanting, that's a big issue here, Vic. But does a terrorist have rights when it comes to this situation?
Great question. You can probably take it a step back and you can say, does a deceased person have rights? Well, we don't have Fourth Amendment rights to protection if we don't have standing, which means we cannot object to people searching our places, our persons, our things, anything we may have if we have passed away. We do not have standing. This case is not really about standing for the dead, now labeled terrorists who actually, was shot in the shootout and no longer with us. So we know he doesn't have Fourth Amendment rights. The question is whether the government can force Apple to do something proactive. Not just asking to turn information over, but also asking to create something, to take an affirmative action or step towards receiving the evidence. The slippery slope here is quite obvious. We have a situation where Apple could very well be instilled as investigators because the evidence is within the iPhone, within the cloud, let's say, and can only be unlocked with Apple's permission and guidance. So does this make Apple investigators as far as law enforcement goes? And that's the big question.
We know you have a history of having clients that were targets of the FBI.
Correct.
And so when we talk about in general what's on that iPhone, the FBI wants, we all know who someone called, who they talked to, their connections, how they might have planned it. But what else is on that phone? The terrorist phone. What can they find? Can they track them?
Oh,
all those things.
Absolutely. So when we take a photograph with our families at Legoland or wherever we are, that photograph on our iPhone miraculously says Legoland, right? So there are geo-trackers that are now instilled in many of these technological advancements. The slippery slope, again, is not so much the iPhone. It's what will happen when we have, for instance, in our houses and our homes, surveillance cameras. Things of that nature where we monitor our own children's doings on television or on the phone. Will those then be accessed by the federal government given any kind of a criminal action? So all these points are well taken, but the real issue at the end of the day is, can the federal government force Apple to create something to then create supposedly some evidence that may come about? It's a big, big issue that is not going to be resolved anytime soon.
A precedent-setting case for sure, no doubt.
Absolutely.
Josh, thank you for your time.
My pleasure. Thank you.